Hey everybody, Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Good afternoon to every single one of you. I have some big information I'd like to update you on as far as the Gulf hurricane that's going on. Some showing it's still going to be here in a few days. Some show it could last all the way till 10 days before we see it, but they still showing it's coming. Plus, tropical storm Hurricane Larry that's moving up through the Atlantic. I'm showing a couple possibilities that it could go towards northeast. I'll show you everything I have. Remember, all the links are in the description to help save you time. And if you've never been here before, hello. My name is Mark. I do upload every single day, and usually a tropical update every single afternoon. I kind of hurt my shoulder last night, so this is my first one and only one for today. But make sure you hit that subscribe button because I am all year round. All I ask is if you know somebody that's in these impacts, please share this on social media, or if you don't use social media, just hit the like button. YouTube will suggest it that way. That way you can help out. Thank you so much. Now, Northeast, you're getting pummeled right now by the remnants, tropical depression, Ida, whatever. A lot of weather. You're getting a lot of storms, you're getting a lot of tornado warnings, and you're getting tornadoes as well. I'm not showing any hail, but I'm still showing that wind threat is still there for you guys. Now, Ida isn't the only worry that we have. Not only do we have Larry over here looking very healthy, the wave behind Larry is going to cause a lot of issues. It could bounce Larry around where it gets closer to the East Coast. Plus, we have our Invest 91L right here, and I'm showing we have a few days, 5-6 days away, and some of it show it could be 9-10 days away, but they're still showing no matter what is coming. Now, up to the 2 o'clock update, it is still at 30% for Invest 91L. Ida's moving through, Kate's dying off, and Larry is starting to intensify. Now, when I look through the cyclone ensembles for the next 10 days through our models, the Euro confirms that it's nothing but a lot of bumbled around storms, maybe a couple low pressures for Central America as it passes through the East Pack. The GFS brought it to where it came into the Gulf as a major hurricane for Louisiana. Now other models are showing that as well. And GFS brought it in a 6Z over here towards Mexico, and now the 12Z is taking it further into the East Pack. The KMA model confirms that it will be bumbled around storms and it will go into the East Pack. Now, the Canadian model don't want to let this go. The Canadian model is saying that no matter what, we're still going to have the storm squiggle up and become a storm maybe for Texas. So far, it's showing around Houston. Now, first things first, the storm in Northeast with Ida. Your 1 day total rainfalls, 1 to 2 inches in this green, 2 to 4 inches in this dark green, 4 to 6 more inches of rainfall in this yellow, and you're already under a flash flood emergency I have seen for parts of Pennsylvania, as well as 6 to 10 inches in all these dark orange spots. Now, this is additional rainfall from what you've gotten already. You still have the tornado threat that you need to worry about. You have an enhanced right here for 10%. You have your 5% right here and your 2% in this area here. And here's your cities in the threat of these tornadoes for today. And the yellow is the enhanced. Now, all afternoon, y'all going to be dealing with some very strong wind gusts coming with this storm, up to 50 miles per hour as it passes through. It does jump to 60 miles per hour as it gets into later tonight. There's a big glob of 60 right below Pennsylvania, and they are in a flash flood emergency. Now, this 50 to 60 miles per hour wind gust is going to pass over to New Jersey as well as you get into later tonight. And as you go into early morning hours, it's going to go over the rest of the New England states. 60 miles an hour for sure. Definitely high 50s. And this is causing a lot of issues with a lot of flooding. They're under a flash flood emergency right now. And you can see the water level on this truck right here. And all these videos I'm about to show you, all the links are in the description of this video, and all the credit goes to them guys. But you can see the water level go all the way up to this truck from all this water that ran through this neighborhood. It knocked all these cars around, and it was that high of water, and it slammed everybody around. It was a total surprise. It moved a whole parking lot across, and it came rushing through people's front doors from the apartment complex, just flooding their house full of water. Everybody over there. Still, Louisiana, 980,000 homes without power. All this dark red you see here is all 95 to 100% without power. They are working on assumptions still. In Iberville, you see these lighter colors where they're getting around to. But St. Tammany, everybody is still 95% without power. But help is on the way. Now, one thing y'all got to deal with is the heat indices for today is going to put y'all well over 100. Somewhere around 100 to 102 today. And I know y'all don't have power deep south in some very hot temperatures with the heat indices. And it's going to be even hotter for tomorrow as well. It's going to get all the way up to 102, 103 heat indices around southeast Louisiana because of your dew points coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And you got to think, it's not just y'all. I know y'all are suffering enough, but these workers that's trying to get to y'all are dealing with this heat as well. Now, this is from Live Storms Media. As everybody knows, I always support these guys. Their link to their channel is in every single video that I ever do. Links in the description for this video if you want to go watch it. This is just total devastation right by Grand Isle. Homes off the foundations. It was catastrophic. And they got all these crews rolling out to you guys, and it's coming from all kind of places going straight for Louisiana, straight to y'all power problem. They're on the way or there, and more coming. Centerpoint sent a bunch of people out from Houston, Texas, also to come to Louisiana and help y'all with y'all power problem. They got a big crew coming from Kissimmee Utility that's heading straight towards Lafayette, straight towards Baton Rouge. They are going straight to y'all areas, guys, and it's more than one company, and it's coming from more than one state. Eversource is sending trucks from Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire to also go down there and help y'all get y'all power restored. So there's all kind of people just getting together for you guys. Trust me, they're going to get it on as soon as possible. OG&E is also sending a lot of guys down with a lot of trucks to help y'all power. There's so many people coming to help y'all, if not there already. It's unbelievable. Now, update real quick on what's going on with the next storm, potentially coming through the Caribbean, coming in the Gulf. Matter of fact, we might even have a triple threat, guys. Not only with Larry that could be doing something towards the East Coast, but we're showing two systems that's coming up. The one that's going to be Invest 91L that's coming through the Bay of Campeche, going to go through the Gulf. There's going to be another one right behind it, and they're going to play a factor off each other on what's going to happen in the future. Now, GFS, when you look at a potential velocity anomaly to see the updraft, it does pick up Larry, and it does show something weak come through the Caribbean, come through the Gulf of Mexico sometime around the 10th through the 13th. Euro is actually in agreement with this, except the Euro is showing stronger, but it's showing from the 10th to the 13th. Something's going to be in our Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is Tropical Storm Hurricane Larry. You can see it's getting a good tight center eye right there. It's starting to really strengthen up. And you can get a good shot right here and see all the power that it is spreading around. This thing is really going to bulk up really good. So far, they still have it as a major hurricane doing a curve somewhat in front of Bermuda, but a few of the ensembles are showing this will wiggle, a little snake wiggle. The wave that's coming off after Larry is going to play a factor because it's going to be faster, and it could mingle with Larry a little bit and change the track. So far with the 12Z, I did wait for all the updates, guys. And 4 days is going to be making its north to northwest push, maybe 5 days according to some ensembles, going past the islands, getting away from Puerto Rico. And the intensity guidance on this is all over the place. Whatever level it gets on is definitely going to stay that way according to these models. It's been showing that for a while now, that whether it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, or even a possible 5, that it will stay on its run on the same strength that it does get. This is your dust from the NASA, and you can see from Invest 91L, there's a little bit of dust, but it's not a whole bunch, but it does keep it suppressed a little farther south. Now, after that, around the 4th or 5th, everything dissipates, and a little bit of dust that comes after that is no effect. And Invest 91L is still disorganized, is starting to make a westward push now, so it is expected to be either in the Bay of Campeche or a little bit lower. And the latest guidance models show that it will go straight over Central America. I have y'all rainfall amounts, and it will go somewhat over Belize or a little bit northern into the Bay of Campeche. Now, the automatic guidance shows that it could do another wiggle. Just the other day, the guidance we have is this one right here that showed that it curved in 5 days by the Yucatan and got in the Gulf. But it is showing that it is going mostly towards the Bay of Campeche. In 5 days, something's going to happen. Now, the GFS confirms that it is wiggling to the west, but it is getting weaker as it does it. And more than likely, it will take a southwest turn. The CMC shows that it will go west, and it will possibly be weak. But the CMC shows that this storm is going to still be here by the 6th or 7th. Now, the Euro shows that by the 5th, it will be in the Bay of Campeche at its somewhat strongest point. And the cold front will hit it and keep it either south or west, and not a worry. But then you can see it starts to strengthen back up after the cold front around the 8th and head somewhat towards Texas. The GFS says it's going to take all the way till the 8th before this finally gets organized in the Gulf right above the Bay of Campeche, but it still don't get organized. It stays bumbled around for a long time from cold fronts coming down to the southeast, putting little troughs down, but eventually it works its way either towards Houston, somewhere around the 15th, the 14th, or towards Louisiana. It's still too far to say, but it's still, all the models are showing it'll either be southeast Texas or southwest Louisiana. And it also shows that we will have a wave coming close to Puerto Rico. It will be coming off around the 12th or 13th, and it's a big glob of thunderstorms. And if that thing gets rotating around, we saw this the other day, it's still showing a big, powerful group of something coming. Now the CMC model, which that one in Canadian model just cannot let this go. Shows that in about 48 hours, maybe 3 days tops, it will be moving across the Yucatan, get into the Bay of Campeche. And it does bumble around like the GFS shows, but it shows it gets itself together. And right around the 7th or the 8th, it goes towards Texas, somewhere by Houston by the 9th. And right after that one, the one that's been moving a little bit behind it in the Caribbean, shows it also gets in the Bay of Campeche, and it does a little twirl action like it wants some as well. So far, according to the CMC model, that would bring it up a very weak storm, slowly intensifying towards Texas, get down to a hurricane of a 984, and that's by the 9th. And so far, it's not too strong. What I'm finding so far is a little over 70 miles per hour wind gusts as it goes. That's how disorganized these storms are. 980 something, and it's only got 70 miles per hour wind gusts. It don't even sound right. The CMC model always shows about Larry. As you're getting that storm possibly for Texas, Larry, as it comes in towards the northeast, that it could get hit by the cold front and knock it back like it never been hit before. Look at that, it gets whopped. Now some ensembles are showing this, something else is going to happen with that. And according to the GFS on the new run, the 12Z, if you look right here on 22, you see there's a possibility for it to get in the Gulf and actually go towards Florida as a 998 storm. And maybe ride all the way to the mid-Atlantic. And right here on 29 says a lot. It's kind of hard to see it behind that number. But it shows that the one in the Caribbean, the second one that comes through the Caribbean, not Invest 91L, that it actually strengthens up and heads in the Gulf and does something. While at the same time, Larry actually just slows down and becomes a strong beast right there. If you look right here, you'll see what happens with that. That thing gets really big, stays there for a couple of days, then finally heads out. Gets really close, but heads out. 945. Some other ensembles shown to the GFS. Now we've seen the 5 days, and I'm going to show you what is picking up 10 days away. If you see right here on E3, it shows that it just bobbles around for a long time, finally gets itself together, heads north, straight for Louisiana. And that would make it around the 14th, the 15th on that storm. And that's within the dates of what the potential velocity anomaly has showed. Now the new run, the 12Z, still showing the same thing as the 6Z. It's showing literally by the 6th that it's going to get itself together within 5 days, head in the Gulf, head towards Texas, and roll by Louisiana and the southeast. If you look down here on E29, this is actually on the 11th. It shows that it's the second wave that comes through the Caribbean, and it goes straight in the Gulf, straight for Louisiana and Texas. There's a little closer look so you can get millibars of them. E3 right here shows it going towards Louisiana, getting all the way down to a 959. Or right here on E13, the one that curves very quickly on E13, swings by as a 993, strengthens to a 990 while it's in the southeast. And the 12Z shows the same place around the same time, stronger. It shows it right here as a 949, 946, 944 rolling by Texas as it goes towards Louisiana as a 948, 956. And getting pulled very fast out the southeast. If you look down here on 29, you can see the one that comes through the Caribbean and the Gulf. A few days later, it actually gets down to a 968, a 966. I want to cover something about Larry real quick because we're getting into the beginning of September. We're starting to get towards peak season. We're not quite there yet. But at the same time, you can see major hurricanes in this dark. We are definitely starting to get into the peak season of when we get major hurricanes. Now, last year we had Laura right at the end of August. Then we had a Cat 1, a tropical storm, a Cat 1. We had weak things. Until we got to the middle of September, just like what we're looking at now, then we had Teddy. And right now we got Larry and something coming in the Gulf. Now last year, Teddy got into a hurricane status. It did that little wiggle that we've been seeing. It even put Bermuda under tropical storm conditions. And it got somewhat close, but not quite close enough. But around the same time. Now I'm showing it in a few of the models that Larry might actually get close to the northeast as it moves in. Look right here on E3. It shows it does that snake wiggle just like Teddy did. And it goes straight for Maine. And just like I said in the beginning of the video, where that next wave coming behind Larry could cause issues, you can see that right here in 22. That's Larry moving up, and then you got the next wave coming behind it, and it keeps it suppressed to the south, while the next wave takes the northern push, and Larry is a little closer now and starts headed towards the coast. Just like Teddy in the middle of September, right around the 12th. So far that one on E3. You can see how close it gets to the Northeast and the New England states. And by the 12th, it's a 952. And it's a 958 possibly affecting people in the New England states. And curving inland and affecting everybody else. Even the one right here on E22 that gets really close to the coast, it starts headed towards the Northeast as well. Pretty close. Now, the latest GFS run has been all over the place. It's trying to figure out what to do. As you can see, it does pick up two energies, two possible low pressures. I'm telling you, we're going to have a possible double header coming through this Caribbean at the same time. But if you look at the way that it rolls this time, you'll see it's a bunch of fumbling around thunderstorms that can't quite get organized. Then something does come out the East Pack, just like it showed in the last model run. And we do get a group of thunderstorms sometime around the 8th or 9th in the Gulf of Mexico. And if you keep watching it, so far it stays bundled around and it doesn't get organized. Staying there that long is a very scary thing, to be honest with you. But so far it doesn't do much. It works its way up the Gulf. It don't turn into a hurricane. And when you look at the Icon model, it has all this. It has Larry down to a 949. Has a low pressure in the Gulf, and it has a low pressure coming through the Caribbean sometime around the 7th, guys. And you can't see too far with this model, but you can see that the one in the Gulf heads north and the one in the Caribbean heads west, like they're trading places. Now, so far, the 10-day outlook for the rainfall, according to the Euro, does show that it does miss everybody in the Northeast, and it swings out. And there's a bunch of thunderstorms for the western Gulf of Mexico. Jamaica, you're not getting nothing. Very little bit of rain. Central America, anywhere from 3 to 4 inches, and Belize, you're getting about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inch tops. The GFS confirms the turn, but it also confirms that there's going to be a lot of rainfall, a lot of thunderstorms that's going to be in the Gulf of Mexico. It also confirms that Jamaica won't be getting no rainfall, maybe 1/2 inch in 10 days. But you got 4 to 5 inches of going across Central America now, and Belize, GFS shows that you actually will be heavier, up to 4 inches. A little over 4 inches of rainfall. And so far, we have storms in the Northeast is bringing high 40s. Some of it is even 50 miles per hour wind gusts you need to be aware of. This is some very high winds, and it's going across all of y'all. 55. A lot of winds in this, guys. Y'all need to be careful with this storm. It will pass by, hopefully, quickly enough. I see a lot of severe weathers, and I see a lot of tornado warnings. So God bless you all that is in that. So that is the update, guys. I hope that y'all liked the update for today. I will do another one first thing in the morning. Just my shoulder was really messed up and I couldn't do nothing this morning. I couldn't even pick up this mouse. Matter of fact, you don't know the pains I go through for this video. The power of editing. Now tonight, I'd like to speak Proverbs 27. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth an honeycomb, but to an angry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doeth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity. For better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. My son, be wise, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. A continual dropping in a very rainy day, and a continuous woman are alike. Whosoever hideth her hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which bewrayeth itself. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. As in water face answereth to face, so the heart of man to man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. As the fining pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. For riches are not forever, and doeth the crown endure to every generation. The hay appeareth, and the tender grass showeth itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. The lambs are for the clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance for thy maidens. Amen. God bless you all tonight. I hope you have a very blessed night. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. I'll see you in the morning. Hopefully a big update. All glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, the Almighty. Amen. Hallelujah, guys. Have a great night tonight.